Hello, this is Anka Corbin with Globig. I am here at the GetGlobal Expo, and my guest is Kirsten Baker from GPS. GPS is a global talent search company, if you will. Actually, tell me a little bit about what that is and what you're doing.
Thank you, Anke. Thank you very much for having me here. GPS, Global Professional Search, is a digital marketplace for global talent. So this is designed to be really the world's first cross-border or borderless place where employers can go and find candidates who they want to hire for full-time work or project-based work who have a combination of global competencies. And when we say global competencies, we're referring to their industry and their function expertise, but combined with an ability to work in different cultures, in different languages. So what we know right now is, let's just take the United States. 1 in 3 mid or large businesses here in the United States are working with multicultural or multilingual clientele around the world. So they need candidates who can help them obviously fill those different requisites.
So what are some of the trends in global talent search? Is it hard? Is it becoming easier? And maybe touch on some of the top types of talent that's being searched for.
So with all of the disappearance of borders in the way we work, you have now pretty much any company you can think of, even the SMEs, not just large companies. They either have clients overseas now, they have suppliers overseas, manufacturers. So there's so many reasons for them to be engaging in different countries and with different constituents, in different languages and in different cultures. And to the extent that you can't communicate in a language or inside of a culture, understanding those nuances, you're typically leaving a lot of money on the table, right? So when we're looking at shifts right now in the way employers are thinking about recruiting global talent, what they're realizing is that combination of culture and language, integrated with the industry and the function expertise is really essential to not leave that money on the table. So right now they're considering, well, where do we go? And it's really begged the question of not searching in all of the typical same campus visits that they tend to make right now, and it's looking outside of just their normal recruiting base. And what we're inviting employers to do is, let's look at candidates, if you will, through a different lens. So it's not just U.S. higher ed gravitas, graduation rates, and the classic kind of Stanford, Harvard, Wharton MBA candidates, but these are candidates from all over the world who have been top of their class. They've graduated from the best engineering or math or accounting programs in their country. They speak 5 different languages. They've worked in many different cultures. And now that we see this combination of global competencies really being so critical, employers have many places that they can look for that competency now. The other trend that we're seeing is employers are very focused on what we call the not so soft skills. These are things like resiliency, adaptability, flexibility, tolerance for ambiguity, and employers are telling us that these matter to them now more than ever, because they're so hard for them to teach or train if the candidate isn't already sort of predisposed to some of these attributes. So what we've also found is that candidates who have spent time in other cultures, who have spent time learning other languages, are exponentially more likely to have those not so soft skills for our employers.
So those are some fantastic tips, and we thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much for having me, Anke. Thank you. Yes.
All right. So what have you enjoyed most about the conference today?
Well, I came because I was very curious about perspectives on global talent trends around the world. We're very interested in working with our fellow companies in China and ASEAN, and yet we know that there are challenges to access to a digital marketplace in some of those countries. So I wanted to hear more about what the demand was. I wanted to hear more about what the other tools, what other options employers are using right now. And what we're hearing is positive in the sense that employers do want this combination of skills, but it's a challenge because they don't actually know where to find them. I had 5 conversations here with friends from China who were telling me that if they want somebody who's come through the American higher ed system, not necessarily American, but who speak fluent Mandarin, who speak fluent English, maybe Shanghainese, and have another understanding for like chemical engineering industries or what have you, they don't really know where to find these candidates. So I think that there's still a need that has to be filled out there, and I was very curious to hear about that.
Fantastic.